And we are on record, and a big good morning, everyone. Let's get started. Today is going to be just kind of it's Thanksgiving week, and I just thought we'd kind of just do a quick update on the next conference, and that's topic number one in the way of our party. And then we will talk about how you're building through the holidays for a short time. And then the last 5 or 10 minutes, I'd like to, you know, everyone share something that they're grateful for. And so, because it is the week of Thanksgiving, I thought that would be very appropriate. I think we have, is that Jan or is that Carol Ann with us on phone?
Yeah,
No.
I'm on. I'll try to do this in a minute.
Oh, Jan's on. And
Jan's on as well.
Hey, Jan, good morning. And good morning, Carol Ann. Good to have you both with us. Okay,
Good morning.
so let's get started. Let's talk first about the next conference. We are going to go in a couple days early and kind of vacation, which is going to be kind of fun. So, you want me to first start out by talking about my vacation in Mexico, and I'll do that briefly. For those of you that didn't know, Jerry and I turned 70 this year, and we didn't want to party or anything like that. So Jerry said, let's go on a trip, and I'll pay for a rental house, and the kids can come and that and so forth. So we were going to go to Italy, but that just was kind of daunting trip. I've never been there, and to plan a trip for 8 people, it's a little bit too much. So we ended up by finding this amazing house to rent just north of Puerto Vallarta for a week. Stuck on the side of a mountain, a half a mile up a mountain, overlooking the bay, the beautiful, beautiful ocean. And we had a great time there. I'd never been there. None of us had. And we just ate and enjoyed each other and swam in the ocean and in the pool and just did everything. And then we went to Jalapa, which is kind of an interesting little town. You can only get there by boat. There are no roads into this little town, even though it's on mainland. And we each rented a little efficiency apartment, you might say, 1-bedroom apartment for 4 days. And again, we did the beach and the whole 9 yards. But this is a very rustic place. There are no cars. There's all donkeys and 4-wheelers, and that's about it. In fact, to take goods from one side of the little town to the other, they actually have a mule train, a 12-piece mule train, if you want to call it that. So it's a little backwards, but anyway, the bottom line is we had an amazing time, and everybody, I'll tell you, it's so fun to travel with your adult kids and have that kind of relationship. And all of you have many of you have younger children. Of course, Jan and Carol Ann and I have, adult children, but it's so amazing to spend that kind of vacation time with your kids. And so we just had an amazing trip, and but we're back at it. And so I'm really glad that we came together today, because I'd like to kind of start getting our thinking caps on about our team gathering in, at least we can decide on date, and maybe even talk about putting a committee together for our team party. And unfortunately, Thursday nights, always the Canadians have their reception, and it's a big deal because the Canadians do a lot of recognition there. They have food and cocktails, and it's a big event for them. And so I really hate to schedule something Thursday night, even though that's the best time, because we all come to conference. We want to see each other right away and kind of set the tone for the conference. But I don't think we can do that. And then because there's Friday night will be open, so my vote would be to plan a big Friday night party, a dinner party. And I guess I don't know if you guys have had time to think about it or whatever. We haven't done this for since Anaheim. So what are you guys thinking in that regard?
I think Friday night's a great night, Nancy. And, we want the Canadians to be able to be there and have the opportunity to come. So 2 thumbs up. And Deanna and I would be happy to serve on the committee as well.
Great. Thank you.
I actually like it better that way, because on Thursday night you can get together with your own immediate team for the first time and then come together the next night as a big organization.
That's perfect. That's a great. You all agree with this?
Yeah, that sounds great.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so, here we are. We're going back to Phoenix again. We've done a lot of team dinners in Phoenix, and we started out doing a team dinner at a ranch, kind of a ranch type of restaurant, and we had to bus everybody there. I can't even remember the name of it, but Jan, remember that? And Mary, the leadership rented buses, and then it was a cowboy bar restaurant where if you had a tie on, they'd cut it off. I mean, it was a lot of fun, and we ate outside, and of course our team was a lot smaller then. Jan, remember that?
I honestly don't. I'm sorry.
Nancy, that was on South Mountain. I forget the name of the restaurant, but the owners were distributors of mine at the time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, there you go. So, I mean, we could do something that's off-site, but we have had really good food, and they've really worked well with us at the convention center. So, really, we have several options, obviously, to go off property or stay in to make it more convenient for our reps. And I'd like to, make it a really fun party. I think everyone had fun dressing up, don't you think, in Anaheim, with their favorite characters? I mean, people really spent some time putting their costumes together. And since we're, it's kind of a cowboy theme, kind of in the Southwest, it would be fun to have a cowboy theme. Bring your cowboy boots, your hat, your dancing boots, and whatever. But so what are some thoughts here?
Nancy, personally, I prefer it when the party is not at the convention center. I just think that there's so much to see and do, and we spend so much time in the same four walls. I just think that there's probably some really awesome things. I don't mind at all, like, getting on a bus or having people Uber to a place. I thought, for our team, that wasn't a real big deal. For last conference, we had something off-site. I don't know. Those are my thoughts.
Phoenix is we've always said, oh gosh, Phoenix is awesome because it's so convenient. You can walk. There's so many places right there. So it might be good.
I don't know.
So I'm hearing some of you would like to be off-site. Any other thoughts?
I think it would be nice because we've been to Phoenix so many times now. We've been into all the places around there. And I know when you guys been up in the mountains, Joe and I missed it. I forgot, but we couldn't go up with you. Either we had to get back early or something.
Yeah. Well, what would you guys think if we put a little committee together and maybe everyone on the committee do a little research of downtown venues that we could walk to or Uber to, and then maybe even to do, is it called Lookout Mountain? No, it's on the tip of my tongue. I couldn't think of it this morning when I was thinking of this, but we could do some research. If we did do something that was way off site, would the leadership agree to throw some money in the pot to provide transportation by bus for everyone? We could, NMDs put this much in, and, I don't think it would be exorbitant to do, but that would make it a reasonable price for everyone to attend by just paying for their dinner and not their, so we'd have to put some dollars and cents together to figure this all out. So
Nancy, I think in order for that to make sense financially, like, renting buses are really, really expensive, and everybody has to leave and return at the same time. There's not a lot of flexibility with it. I think if it was a long way away, that would probably make more sense. But if people are, you can fit 4 people into a cheap Uber, and you can drive for an hour and still maybe pay $15 a person, if you share an Uber like that. So I don't know if I don't know. It would sort of depend on where we went, I think. Well,
I remember we had this little tiny room in Nashville, but it was really fun because it was at a cowboy place, and the leadership came in. We did a little dance for everyone. I mean, we had a good time in that little room, and it was a a Western theme, and it was within walking distance of everything. So, okay, so what I'm hearing is that we need to find a venue that's closer in town, even if it's an Uber ride, but something that's really fun. I think it would be fun if we could find a place and have dinner where we could dance, too, to make it an evening. So what do you guys think?
That would be great if you found something close enough. Phoenix, I don't think we've ever been in a group meeting party at Phoenix and had a bad food, number one. All those restaurants that we have gone to over the years have been always great.
Right.
But if you found something closer like that, that would be great. Now I do remember that ranch setup. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
But we didn't dance or anything. That was, I think, after we left, they had something started.
Yeah, I think you're right, Jan. I think, we kind of had dinner and recognition, but we had it under the stars, which was really cool, and ate on picnic tables. I mean, it was really neat. But, I think we can check that out too and just cross it off, but I would like to at least look at that.
Nancy.
Nancy, one thing just to throw into your research process, Phoenix now has the transit line that's like 2 blocks away from, so that's another possible, you might check what's along that line, which offers flexibility for people traveling who are staying downtown, people, at the convention hotels, but if other people are staying at Airbnbs, they can Uber it. So just to see what's along that route.
Okay.
That's a great idea.
I wrote that down. Thanks, Mayor.
That is.
Brian, you were going to add something?
Yeah, 2 things. A few years ago when we were there, Deanna and I Ubered from the Camelback Resort.
Mm-hmm.
We Ubered into the convention center, and I remember I was so surprised. It was only like $20, and it took maybe 20 minutes. It was really close, but you felt really far out. So I think with Phoenix, perhaps there's a pretty wide area that we could look at. And also Deanna and I did take a few days and go down to Tempe, I think is the town just south of Phoenix. And we used that travel line, which was really easy. And, just like $2 a person or something like that.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Okay. Would anyone else like to kind of serve on this little committee, a little exploratory committee here to get started? Anybody? Thanks, Julie. I got to write this down because I know I'll forget. Anybody else? Celine is really good at this too, and I'll ask her. Oh, good. Ricky will do it too. Okay.
Well, and we can help look too. Dee would be the one probably looking because she's online and she can find all these things. So yes, count us as one person combined. Yes, absolutely.
Thanks, Jan. Appreciate it so much. So with the people that agreed to do this, let's just, Google research. Let's look at some restaurants. I would think it would be really fun if we're dressed up in Western, even if we could have like a line dance class or something. That's what I had hoped when we were in Nashville, but it didn't work out. But anyway, so let's.
All right,
Jan?
Nancy, do we want to keep this within some budget so we're all agreed originally? I mean, that seems always like to be an issue. I'm sure there's wonderful places, but maybe we got to agree that what kind of budget to keep it under per person, for the distributors.
Yeah, obviously we've got to keep it at least, $40 or under. That's plus, tax and tip included. So it's got to be under 40 and way under 40 if you can. Jerry and I always throw in a couple dollars to offset the, if it's $40 and you make it 38 kind of thing, So, so that would kind of be a price, 35 if you could keep it at 35, and that's with tax and gratuity. And obviously we would like an open bar, cash bar available. We only need one bar. So, so that would be pretty much our need. Yes, Brian.
And just to throw a suggestion, one of the another option is that it doesn't necessarily have to be at a restaurant or a banquet hall. It could be at like we could rent a room or something fun that would allow catering, and then just have our pick of whatever caterers we wanted to. And that's actually, in my experience, that's always been a little bit cheaper because the people that have the restaurants and the room together, I don't know, they seem to jack up the prices of the food a lot.
Yeah, and a lot of times they want to charge you a room charge, and that's why a lot of times we've had this right at the convention center, because I book it through the company, and the company pays for the room, which is very, very nice when you're trying to keep your, when you're on a strict budget. So that's why many times we've had it at the actual convention center, and when they want a $500 for a room, it really changes the whole story, doesn't it? So, okay, well, you guys have enough information or any questions to just kind of do some Google searching around, looking around, and see what you can find, and then I'll set up a Voxer chat with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 with me, and then we can just Google not a Google search, a Voxer chat, where we can actually, share information, that kind of thing. Okay. Okay. Very good. The next thing, how are we doing on time? Well, we spent some time on this. The next thing I wanted to just touch briefly on, what are you guys doing to keep your momentum going through the holidays? What are some fun things that, I know, Brian, you've got your new Wednesday night calls, or Wednesday calls. You've got 2 calls on Wednesday with your, on Zoom. And so that's got to be powerful to keep your team motivated. What else? Why don't you start the discussion? Tell us how that's working, and then what else you're doing.
Yeah, we've been doing it for a little while. We moved our team call from Sunday night to Wednesday. We have 2 now, one in the afternoon and one in the evening, because we're getting some international team that it's hard for them to, they need options. Something I wanted to share with everybody, and I'll post this in the Voxer stream this coming Wednesday. Meredith Martin, Vice President of Sales, North American Marketing. I had asked her if she would come on to our team call and share about the Juice Plus Foundation and about the philanthropy and like all these places that Juice Plus is, making a difference, both kind of spontaneously, like when, disasters hit, like hurricanes and stuff, but also ongoing. And she was really gracious and said that she'd love to come. So there's a, I'll show this to you guys. I wanted to open it up to the CROPA team. If anybody would like to come to this, or if you'd like to invite your friends, you can feel free. Or your team. You can feel free. It's going to be this Wednesday. She's going to be live at 12:30 Eastern time. And then we're going to record it and then rebroadcast it in the evening. So I'll put this in the Voxer stream. You can share it with your teams if you'd like. It's kind of cool to be able to hear from a vice president.
For sure. And just so you guys know, there's only 100 lines. And so we're asking if this, please don't go on any public walls, no public Facebook posts or anything like that. It's a one-on-one invitation. And we're also inviting, business prospects, customer prospects, current customers. This is an awesome way to care for our prospects and bring them closer to a place of saying yes to the product or the business, but just through one-on-one invitations.
Yeah.
So we'll be able to maximize our efforts so it will show up in our PDC reports.
Yeah, but I think it's going to be cool. I don't know, we've been, it's funny because Deanna and I are like we're not, like, philanthropy is great, but it's not at the top of our priority list personally. But we've been attracting a lot of people to our team where that's like the top thing. And so it's going to be cool for them to be able to hear. Another thing we've been doing, why don't you tell about the book that we've been sort of reading together?
So this is a great book that we came across called How to Follow Up with Your Network Marketing Prospects. And it's kind of where the term prospect care came from. And it's by Keith and Tom Schreider, and he goes by Big Al Schreider. And this is an amazing book, and the need that it's filling is what I like to call conversational training wheels for people. because one of the things that we have to learn as we build a business is how to navigate conversations, how to use the correct wording, to make people feel comfortable, all that kind of stuff. And so this has really practical things in there, so much so that you can open it up and refer to it during a Facebook chat as to what to say next. And so what we're doing is we had a 2-week-long Voxer chat where we just kind of talk about the book. And it just is lasting for 2 weeks. It'll be over this Wednesday. So this is something else that has been really good.
Yeah,
Cool.
that's what good for people.
That's great. Thanks for sharing. That's wonderful. Thank you. Now I have a question. Can I invite the whole team CROPA? Can I post this invitation on our page on Facebook and Voxer? I can? Okay, good.
Yeah, you sure can. Just ask them to not share it publicly.
I will.
Yeah,
Yep.
That's all. Thanks.
Okay. I'm making a note here. Okay. Jerry's not here. He said to say hi to everybody. He had a coffee meeting this morning, so we'll see. Okay. Anybody else would like to share what they're doing to keep their momentum cranked this holiday season? Yes, Julie, you're on mute.
Okay. Is my tower too distracting in the background?
You're fine.
Okay, great.
We're used to it.
I know, it's watering at the moment. I was waiting for it to cut off, but so one of the things that I've been doing with a few members of my local team is getting out into the community with some great vendor events. This is an amazing time of year for vendor events. Like every local school, PTO are having them, and so just plugging into a few events, more on the local level has been really beneficial for us. So that's something we're doing, to keep our presence up during the holiday season.
Great. And there are so many, you're right. I noticed Jan's son, Jason, had an event in Longwood, I think, this weekend. Yeah, I think it was yesterday, as a matter of fact, some kind of, it was not a farmer thing. I can't remember. It was something that, it wasn't specific for Tower Gardens, but I thought it was a great idea. So, but hopefully Jason was highly successful yesterday, because I think that's such a great idea this time of year. Some people even, the Christmas bazaars and stuff, I've heard of people setting up a booth. I mean, why not? People are looking for different ideas for Christmas, and what a great idea. Yeah.
And this time of year, a lot of those, Christmas bazaar fundraiser things are really inexpensive to participate in. Where some vendor shows you're paying a few $100s for a table, you can go to the local school and pay $25 for your table for the day and get probably way more foot traffic than some of those bigger places. So it's definitely beneficial.
That's great. That's great. Well, thanks for sharing, Julie. Anyone else? Jan, I know you're back. You dropped off a minute and you're back on. I noticed Jason yesterday had a show in Longwood showing the towers. How did that go?
Oh, it went great. It went great. Anytime we have shows that are close by, the idea of going to the shows is to let people know what's possible, and then always to have a follow-up event. That's why I tell people, always doing shows, even if you're out at a bazaar, make sure you're inviting them at the same time to your next event, whether it's a garden party or whatever it might be. So at this time of year, we do a lot of shows. Sometimes we sell towers at the show, and it's a great show, but more than not, it's the follow-up that makes the difference. People think about it and come to a garden party or a workshop or something after. So this year we're doing an open house. We did an open house like this month. We're going to do one next month. It's not really to sell anything. We just make sure we have a Juice Plus table and a towers there, and all we do is do a taste of the tower, meaning that we just make little pickup appetizers, and it's just to invite people. So sometimes our customers come, but they had no idea that we do Juice Plus. Other times there are people that are on Juice Plus and had no idea about the towers. So we just talk, have a nice evening, and then have the next event. And then what we're going to do too is we did an intro like the last one, an intro to the Shred 10. In other words, we're going to start one, I think, the first week in December. But we wanted to make sure people are excited about what it was coming up. And then we're going to do the same thing at the next open house, is just to have people know what we are going to be doing. And then, of course, if you wanted to do the shred in January, then you should probably start your Juice Plus in December. And so it's all kind of a lightweight way of keeping people thinking about it, or starting on the product, but it's always the next step thinking, like, you're here, so we can invite you to come and join us next time.
Great. Great advice. Thank you, Jan, so much. So I'm thinking I've got I was invited to join here where we're staying this winter to the garden club. And so now I'm an official member, and I have 2 talks I'm doing on towers. So scheduled. So that's real exciting. And I think Jan, I'm going to have a suggest, have people here to our place and have some, taste of the tower as a follow-up, so people can ask questions and it's more relaxed instead of a formal setting, because they want me to do a talk and a formal talk and probably PowerPoint and that kind of thing. So so I'm going to schedule that. Thanks for that reminder, Jan. Okay.
Oh, another note, Nancy, I'll tell you what, this is just what we're seeing here. With these new lights, there's something about them. They're so sexy looking. You know what I mean? They're so I don't know if anybody has the new lights, but we have we never set up a light system in our building, but we set this one up, and it is amazing. I mean, we invite people. You have to come and see, just people that are just stopping here. But I will tell you what, the reaction is really exciting. There's something about it that people start thinking about growing inside more than ever before, because they look so nice, they're so easy to use, etc. And I'm actually surprised. They're exciting to people. So it's something to note.
Yeah, I think you're right, Jan. In fact, I'm going to place an order today for one. And I'm not going to set it. I mean, we're in an RV. I'm not going to set it up inside, but I want to have it to show people, because just like Julie, she's got hers growing inside. And I know the Canizaros in the past have grown inside, even in during the year, even though they live in Florida. And so I think it's a great option for people to have when you live in an area where it's really like our weather here right now. Tonight it's going to be 50 and it's going to be in the 80s during the day. So with those extreme temperatures, obviously my tower garden's loving it, actually. But you're right. I think that some people, I have a customer, our attorney, she decided one winter she's going to bring it in. She got the lights. She loved it so much. She has grown she grows year round now indoors, because she has allergies. She doesn't want the allergens to get on her produce. And so she grows indoors now, 100%. Cool. I love the lights too. And I love how you described them as sexy, because I think they're really they look like Sputnik, like it's going to take off any minute,
They just make it so much easier to go set up and show an indoor.
Yes.
Because
and people love them.
They're easy to set up, which is huge. If we're going to do an event and we want to show indoor gardening, there's so many parts and pieces to have to travel with. So I am super excited about that.
Yeah, great. Okay, anybody else like to share what they're doing to keep their business momentum going through the holidays? Yes, Connie.
Okay, I'm meeting people. It's been great. So moving to a new area, I met a woman from a conference on my way from Atlanta to here, and they own this incredible 3rd generation American saddlebred horse farm. And we just hit it off. And so I went out and spent some time with her the other day, and she's already positive benefits from Juice Plus. And there's a whole community now that I get relationships with. So it's been fun.
Great. I'm going to mute Jan. There was a little background noise there. Well, great, Connie. Isn't it fun? I mean, I remember moving to South Florida, and we had to get a dentist and chiropractor and doctor and all these people, and we just started getting them all on Juice Plus, and that's how we started building our business in South Florida. And it really is exciting, I think, because you have this whole new mass of people that don't know anything about Juice Plus that you can introduce our products to. So
and I thrive on one-on-one, so events aren't necessarily my sweet spot, but I'm enjoying being really in tune to where these one-on-one conversations can happen.
Great. Okay, thank you, Connie. Anyone else? I know Ricky's been dancing lately, so she's been out with her husband dancing, so.
Yeah, we had the Florida Hospital Gala this weekend, and it's a very big deal. My husband's company sponsors like the golf tournament and stuff, and so I'm a little tired today because I thought a 6 a.m. Pilates class after this week was a good idea. So I've been up. We got home at 12:30 last night, and I was up at 5:30 for the 6 a.m. class. And there's not enough coffee in the world for that. But one of the things that the team is doing that they love, just like Brian and Deanne, we are doing a book as well. This is Get Over Your Blank Self. Connie, do you have it near you? And Romy something or another is the last name, and it's fantastic. She is actually in Rodan and Fields, but she never talks about her company. She just talks about how, like, oh, I'm in a makeup company or a skincare company or whatever. There it is. And but I just love that she goes through, you know, kind of a no-nonsense approach. And so we've enjoyed going through that with the team, and just so we are getting together on Zoom every other week, and so they have 2 chapters to read each time, and we have a Voxer group where people can discuss things. So as they're reading the chapters, and this past one was on your why and setting goals, we're able to communicate with each other and staying connected. And we have, I think there's about 30 people, between 20 and 30 people on the team, actually, between my team, Dee and Jason's team, and then Mercedes' team. So there's between 20 and 30 of us actually reading the book together. And it's fun because it's, you know, people that were kind of falling back and not being as engaged are re-engaging because of the book. So I would love a picture of that book, Brian, that you guys are doing, kind of thrown into the leadership chat, just so that we can, because I'd love for that to be the next book. You know what I mean? Like, if we can start doing some of these books, I think that would be fabulous.
Great. Yeah, if you would post your actually just take a picture of the front of the book and post it on our leadership, or even on Team Cropa, and say, do it on Team Cropa and say, this is my team is doing this, and this has brought us together, and blah, blah, blah. And this is a great book. We highly recommend it. My team highly recommends it for everyone as a must read. So if you guys would do that, that would be great. So thanks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Something else I've been doing about the last month or so, Soundboard, the Soundboard service, juiceplus.vip. I've never really used it very much in the past, but they put out a new feature recently called newsletters, which I love. And it's basically, so for the $10 a month plan, you can basically send out email newsletters to like any distribution list that you want, and it's so simple. So I made a list. I exported all of the emails from our customer list and put them onto the website. And so basically every, like, I don't know, maybe week or two, I go in and just create a little email, and it shoots it out to everybody, and they have all of the content there. So you just pick like which, 3 or 4 or 5 articles or whatever you want to send to people. You can put a little personal message, put a picture, and just shoot it out. And it's been really neat because I've been finding when we do customer care, they remember, and they say, oh, thanks for the email. I like the article about blah, 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 or whatever. And also I've been noticing, because of the new way they're doing the renewals where people you have to like manually pay your $50 and then I've been having a lot of distributors from ancient days losing their distributorship because they don't pay attention, and then their customers roll up. So these people show up on my PVC report, and I'm like, who the heck are these? Who are they? And there's like no way to track them. Like, you have to call distributor support and be like, who is this person? Where did they come from? Mm-hmm. So what's funny though is when I call these people, they say, oh, I got that email from you. What a nice family picture. Thank you. So, you know what I mean? So it's like this familiarity is kind of good. People do check email.
Yeah,
they really do.
Just like the new newsletter, what is it called? Insight, I can't remember, that the company is sending out now. You can grab some of that information, videos and that kind of thing, and insert it in the new newsletter that you're putting out. I have not investigated that yet, and I do need to do that. So I'm looking forward to it. Would you send me your next one, just if you think of it?
Sure, I'll add it to my list.
Oh, would you do that? Thank you. Great. I'll be your customer all day long.
It takes a little bit to set up just because you have to make sure you get all the people there. But once it's set up, I mean, literally you can send it off in like 3 minutes. It's
cool.
So.
That's great. That's easy. Once it's set up, it's easy to go. Well, great. Well, I'm planning on, for my customers, I'm gonna get a Starbucks $5 Starbucks card, and I'm sending them a thank you, a letter of gratitude at Christmas from Jerry and me, and including that I'm gonna invest in my customers this Christmas. I've been thinking about doing something. I haven't done something for them in a monetary way for a long time, and I've got customers that have been taking Juice Plus for 23 24 years, almost 24 years. So I've got to do something to give back, and so I think a Starbucks card. I did send bars out 2 years ago to everybody. That was my last investment, but I think a Starbucks card would be enough for them to take notice. So that's what I'm doing for my customers this holiday season. So and anyone else going to send out a Christmas mailing or anything? Or yep. Okay, good. All right, anybody else have anything they'd like to add before we wrap up this call? I would like to give you guys an opportunity to, I made some notes from my heart, a little love note to you guys for this thankful week. And so if any of you would like to share from your heart your gratitude, I would love to hear from each and every one of you, and then I'll close it out with some of my thoughts. So anybody want to share your gratitude?
Nancy?
Yes, Mayor.
I'll start. I would like to express my gratitude first to you and Jerry. Well, actually, first to Juice Plus for giving me my health back and gifting me over the years, the 20 plus years, with all of these friendships and opportunities to learn and grow from each other. And I'm very grateful for that. Thank you.
You're welcome, Mayor. Thank you, Mayor. Anyone else?
I'll share.
Okay, thanks, Julie.
I'm just very grateful for the amazing people that are in this room right now. Just for the leadership that you offer for those of us who are still, navigating our way through how to be an effective leader and how to really impact people's lives. I just appreciate the wealth of wisdom that comes from all of you guys. So thank you.
Great, thank you. Anyone else?
I just appreciate everybody sharing their ideas and trying to help me keep afloat. Just anything that happens to us with Juice Plus, I'm just amazed because it seems like the rest of our life is so flooded with things. And I'm so proud of Ricky and everything she does for her group. Sometimes she drags me along too. But no, I appreciate all of you and everything you share.
Great. Thank you for sharing. Anyone else? Yes, Brian?
I'm really thankful for the unity and the cohesiveness of this team. You know, Team Cropa. There's some horror stories out there about just teams that don't get along, they don't like each other, and all this stuff. And I'm like, oh, you poor thing. It's so great to be a part of a team where everybody just really, really cares about each other and supports each other, and we work together. And Nancy, that comes from the top down. You've always been so great at just being so inclusive and really making sure that everybody is cared for and, you know, has their line of connection. So thank you for making that happen. You and Jerry both. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Anyone else? Okay, well, I just want to say to you guys, I had to take notes because it started flooding. Like, you know, you write in your grateful journal, and I thought, I better write this stuff down. But, you know, I was thinking, you know, you guys, you know, you think the leadership starts at the top. Well, each and every one of you have helped Jerry and I grow to be not only better people, but better leaders as well. And each and every one of you individually have impacted us. And so we are so grateful for that, as well as grateful for your leadership for your own teams. I am so proud of each and every one of you, how you have taken your teams and you are the leaders and responsible for your teams, and your dedication, your friendship to us and to your team, how you've turned it around and shared that as well, and your dedication and your tenacity as well. And so I'm always so impressed when I see you guys making goals, and I'm really proud of your successes. Obviously, we're always proud, but even the times where, you know, I'm proud of your journey to get to those goals. But even if you don't reach your goals, it's how you handle yourself. And I'm really proud of you, even at that time when your goals are not quite met, how you pull your pants up, your bootstraps up, and you turn it around and you start all over again. And that's something that not everybody has. And that's, to me, a really dedicated, loving person. And it's because of you that this week Jerry and I are giving Thanksgiving this Thanksgiving week to each and every one of you for the love, the dedication, your leadership and friendship. And I just wish, on behalf of Jerry and I, that you guys just have an amazing Thanksgiving week full of family, love, delicious food. Forget the Shred 10 on Thursday is my recommendation. I've seen all these people that are cooking vegan on Thanksgiving, but hey, bless them too. But there's nothing like, I saw a picture on Facebook where someone was in a kayak, and they're in a kayak swimming down mashed potatoes and gravy. And they say, this is what I'm doing on Thanksgiving. Anyway, so with that, guys, I just want to wish you a great week. We'll be back together on December 6th. And I appreciate each and every one of you. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. And we'll talk soon. Bye, everybody.
Love you.
Bye. Thank you, Nancy.
Bye. Bye.